Hi, everybody. Uh, Welcome. The last video I did yesterday, I said some things and I got a couple comments, and that was great. And I was gonna this morning I was gonna respond, type and respond to the comments. And then I thought, you know what? Why don't I share my response in a video so that everybody can hear my response? Because I thought they were really good comments. So I'm gonna do that. Uh, One comment was addressing how hard it is to get your head wrapped around uh, the spiritual warfare, the multidimensional aspect of this silent war, and you know, recognizing to the best of your ability that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Well, it's way more than that. Now I've heard that saying for that saying's been around for long time, long time. I've heard that saying. I've used it over 20, 25 years, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience as opposed to humans having a spiritual experience. That's the fullness of the full quote of that phrase. Well, that is very well true, but in this now time, it's time for us through the acceleration, and we are almost there. I remember commenting on a video, some other person's video. I remember making a comment they were talking about, or it might have been my own video. Oh, yeah, it was a reply to a comment of one of my videos, and I said, we're pretty much at 11:59 and maybe 30 seconds. That's how close we are to the ascension, to the end of things. That's why everything is so accelerated, everything is so crazy. As the Federation of Life said, what you've been waiting for the last 20, 30 years, you're in the midst of it right now. That's how close we are. Okay, and so again, I would admonish everybody to expand your thinking. You know, I'm quoting Q, expand your thinking. Uh, Basically, try to embrace something bigger than the 3D. Remember who you are. Years ago, I used to wear a pin, and I used to wear this purple pin, and all it said on it in white letters was "Remember." And people would always ask me, and I did it purposefully as an icebreaker in conversation. People would ask me, "Remember what?" And I would look at them and say, "Remember that you're a divine, eternal being. Remember who you are." And that, when I was talking about the other day, about our job is to just channel more light and raise our vibration, and that's how we participate in the planetary ascension of, in the ascension of planet Earth. All you're doing is remembering who you are. The fact that you're watching these videos means your light codes have gone off. Light codes that you and I, before we incarnated, we set this all up. That at a certain time in the third dimensional linear timeline, your certain light codes would go off, be activated, and you would find me. And here you are, because you're interacting with me. Okay? We knew this. Well, same thing applies. What I said something yesterday that I know a lot of people might have, because one of the comments kind of touched on it about Trump being a light worker. Well, then what? And the only way to see that, the only way to see that is from the big story, or as Q says, from the 40,000-foot view. Because if you're down here in the trenches and can't see the forest for the trees, i.e., you're still in the small story, calling yourself a small story character, you're just this struggling human, and life's a bitch, and then you die, and the whole world looks like it's going down the tubes, and they're burning down our country, and yada yada yada, and you're just totally confused. Then yeah, you could not see. You have not remembered who you are. And that I admonish you. I don't like telling people what they should do, because I do not absolutely. use that word in my vocabulary. You probably have never heard me use the word should. I always suggest or admonish this might be very wise to do. So I'm not going to tell you you should do this, but I'm a very strongly suggest that you seriously consider that you are a multidimensional being and focus on that. Let that be your focus. Let that be the eyesight that you look through. Let that be the lens that you view the world is from a multidimensional perspective. You are infinitely bigger than you think you are. And until you can start seeing until you expand your thinking until you expand your perception of yourself, until you expand your perception of yourself, you'll always judge the world based on your identity. And as long as you see yourself as a small story character, you will always see the world through a small story lens. And no, you cannot comprehend the fact that Donald Trump is a light worker. Because just as we are all multidimensional beings, Donald Trump is too. So it's like quit listening to the media, because the media is which was run by the cabal. They don't want you to expand your thinking. They don't want you to expand your perspective, your perception of yourself. They want you to stay a confused, struggling, afraid, fearful human. That's what all of this madness is about, is to keep you controlled. When you're in fear, when you're confused, when you're divided, you can be controlled so much easier. And there goes back to what I talked about yesterday, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Divide and conquer. That's an age-old tactic in warfare. Divide and conquer. Take your enemy's forces and divide them, and then attack them on this front and attack them on this front, and always attack on multiple fronts. We are being bombarded on multiple fronts, and that is my next video, the one that I have planned for today. So I'm not gonna go off on that tangent, because I'm gonna record another video about that. So anyway, let me stay back focused on the comments, or the response to the comments. Don't focus on Trump. Don't focus on the small story character of Donald J. Trump. Okay? He's just the tip. He's the public figure of this worldwide uh, alliance. I've said in videos prior, in this second series, I remember saying that I had heard a figure of 25 to 28 countries that are part of this worldwide alliance. Well, I had an update on that. I ran across some data just in the last couple of days, and the figure was 186 countries are part of this worldwide alliance to take down the cabal. There's only 192 individual sovereign countries on planet Earth, and 186 of them are on board. Donald Trump is just the face, the public face, because United States is the last, as I said in the last video, the last bastion that the cabal has to take down in order to get their one world government. We're the only country on the planet right now that the citizens can bear arms. The citizens can, our Second Amendment. We're the only country on the planet left that has that right to bear arms. That's why there's been such a big push to do away with the Second Amendment. Gun control is such a major issue for the cabal, because you can't have a one world government when people can shoot back at you. You can't have a police state when the populace can shoot back at you. And right now, there will never ever be an invasion on planet Earth. I mean, of the United States. There will never be invading force, because there's over 300 million guns in the citizens' hands, in the populace hands. United States is well armed. They cannot take us over by force. That's why they do it in every other way, psychologically, every subversive way. But then I'm getting back into the warfare, and I don't want to do that in this video. But basically, I'm really tired of editing. I've got a sibling, my younger brother, who just we're back into him not talking to me again, and he calls me arrogant. I think I'm better than everybody else. Think I know so much. Well, I actually do know more than he does and most people on the planet. I in the last set of videos that I did last year, I used the trilogy of Lord of the Rings as a model of the big story compared to the small story. Well, if you've only read the first story of the trilogy and that's all you know, then that's all you know. You can't know what you don't know. Okay? But if I have read the whole trilogy, all three books, then yes, I do know more than you because I've read all three books and you haven't. So, yes, you can call me arrogant, and I'll admit I do know more than you. Well, I've embraced the big story years ago. Amazon. Thank you. You're welcome. Amazon just made a delivery, so he's hollering inside. Yo, thank you. Front door is right outside here. So anyway, yes, I do know more than most. If you, I know more than anybody that hasn't embraced the big story, that hasn't expanded their perception of themselves, which is why I admonish you guys, suggest strongly that you do the same so that you can be on the same page with me. Just remember, and you don't even have, there's nothing you have to do except make a shift in your consciousness in the sense of your identity. Who you are determines your reality base. So instead of running around thinking you're a struggling human, life's a bitch and then you die, I strongly suggest and welcome you and support you to have a flight of fantasy. Say I'm a multidimensional being. Say I'm a fifth dimensional big story character. And imagine yourself being that. And you don't have to figure out how it is, how to imagine it. Just open yourself up to it, and the big you will share who you really are with you. You, the small, because you who's identifying as your mental body, the mental body, your third dimensional mental body, has no clue. Has no clue. When you bump up against the big story, that's the boundaries of where your third dimensional mental body can go. Like I said, even in yesterday's video, it will call bullshit. But if you choose, if you as a divine sovereign being, if you choose to walk there and focus on that, your big you will honor that. But because this is free will, you can say, no, I don't want to. You're full of shit. I'm just a struggling human. Well, then I support and honor your divine sovereign right to just be a struggling human. But I can't tell you what's true for you. I can't tell you who you are. But what I can tell you is what's true for me, and I can tell you what I see, and I see you as a vast, eternal, multidimensional being. Now you can accept or reject that, and I honor that, but that's my perception, and I can, through my own sovereignty, speak from my perception. So that's how expand your thinking. Expand your thinking. Be just be bigger than what the world tells you. Be bigger than what your third dimensional circumstances tell you. Just know that you volunteered to do this. You're not a struggling human. You're the best that we could come up with to be down here to do this. You are the strongest. The entire universe is singing your praises. All of us. Because we're here now. There are multitudes, billions of beings that would like to incarnate on planet Earth right now to participate in this. Because what's going on right now is the bomb. This is what's going on right now is like, and this data was shared with me, oh shit, mid 90s. All right, so early 90s. So we're talking 20 over almost 25 years ago, better than 25 years ago, that if one was to look at this from just a few dimensions up outside of our third dimensional perspective, our third dimensional senses, it's like this is like breaking news on the 6 o'clock news. You know, details at 6 or details at 11, however it goes. What's going on planet Earth is the hottest thing in the universe right now. There are other planets ascending, but right now this is the major one here, and it's because there's a bottleneck here and the cabal would like to keep it that way because what happens? See, it's like it is so much bigger than you can imagine. That's one of the things that was said in one of the comments. It's like when you try to look at it from a spiritual level and the spiritual multidimensional warfare going on, you have no idea, folks. You have no idea how big this shit is. And it's not just here. It is the entire universe. It is so expansive. I listened to a video today, this morning, a little while ago, of a person that I follow. I'm not going to say their name because I don't want to, disparage them in any way. But I was in line with a lot of what they were saying until the very end. And then they said something. I went, stood like a big red flag, separation, polarity. And I said, well, I honor and support their divine right to have that view, but I'm not in alignment with that view of separation, polarity. Because from the big story, we're talking unity consciousness, the oneness of all that is. Show me something outside of all that is. Well, this person was talking about God and yada, 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 and then they turned around and then they spoke about the beings that are service to self faction and their service to the dark, and they excluded them from God, from her perception of God. And it's like, oops, do you hear what you just said? You just polarized. You just drew a line and said these people are not part of God. These people, these beings are not part of all that is. Well, you just failed the challenge because you can't show me something outside of all that is. It doesn't work. So, but that's her perspective, and she can have it, and I support it. I don't agree with it, but I support her right to have that perspective. Okay. So again, like I said, you guys, I truly hope. I don't want to come on like all hard and shit, but we really got to get with the program. That's why I'm now, before for the first set of videos, I was just saying, you know what? I'm not out for views. I'm not out for likes and stuff. But now I am. I'm asking you guys to comment if you would, so I can get some feedback from you. And more than just one or two. If you're watching these videos and you got something to say or you got a question, just put it out there, okay? Don't be afraid. Just put it out there. Because I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to support your perspective. And if I see something, if I can address your comment, as always, I'm going to always address it from the big story, which will hopefully be a little bit more enlightening for you. So, there's always that. But I also am asking to share these videos, uh, like the video. If you do like it, press the like button uh, because I've learned that the more likes that a video gets, the YouTube algorithms will recommend it more, and the video gets more exposure. Because yes, we have to get this out. It's like I can't I'm not monetizing that. I'm not going to do, but uh, we also we need, as light workers, we need to get with the program. We really, really do, and we're all in this together. And the fact that you guys, the 17 subscribers I have, does the number 17 mean anything to you? So I've got 17, and I'm a Q follower, I'm a Q advocate, which I'm not going to go into that because that's the next video. Please share if it's yours to do. Share this video with somebody of like mind or just you think might be interested in this stuff. Uh, like the video so that the algorithms will recommend it, more. And that's that. I love you. and blessings on your journey. And I'll see you in the next video because it will be soon. Okay, thanks.